So this is my review, basically, of the Casper UK mattress. I've had it for about 3 weeks, been sleeping on it for about 3 weeks, and I think I can give a fair assessment of it. I know they say it takes about 30 days to adjust, but yeah, I'm not convinced that. Maybe about 7 days to get used to a mattress. I don't think I've really noticed any difference after that. So I think I'm in a position. I will do a longer term follow actually, but for now, 3 weeks on, I think I've got a good handle on the mattress. The obvious, it is an online company, as in it seems to be the way now. So budget mattresses, online, mostly foam. Sometimes you get springs, blah blah blah. It's going to come vacuum packed in a 47 by 47 by 108 centimeter box like that. It's going to come vacuum packed. You can check out my unboxing video. You're going to basically pull it out, take off the cellophane, and it's going to inflate in front of your eyes. So how have I got on with it? Before I do, actually, I've got to say this is really different from the US version. So this is specific to the UK version, and I have to say, when I first read about it, and when I got it back, so I'm thinking it does. When you see the specs compared to the US, it's like really they've gone bargain basement. It's a cheaper version, and the prices are a bit cheaper than a lot of the other companies that do the similar mattress. So it is a cheaper version. It's slightly lower in height, so there's less material there. You can, of course, get a discount, but it's a little bit harder with Casper. To get a discount, you're going to have to use one of those links that are basically refer a friend. You'll get 50 quid off. I'll put one up in my link, but you can use anybody's link. But whereas with the others, you can go on their chat and ask for a discount code, or they have ever-present discounts, £50, £100 off. A little bit harder with Casper, but they are cheaper to start with. So if you want to get 50 quid off, you're going to have to go through one of those referral links. But it's cheaper, especially I think the king size is like £100 cheaper than the others. Even if you work out the difference in discount codes, it's going to be about 50 quid cheaper. Is a little bit less of a mattress, but does that matter in the long run? Well, nobody can really tell you yet, because all foam mattresses you're going to have to expect to replace after about 3 to 8 years. It is a problem. It is characteristic of a memory mattress, of a foam mattress, not just memory foam. It's going to start retaining your body shape. It's going to get softer over time. It's going to get some sinkage, reflected in the fact, if you look at the warranties on all of these companies, are very careful with their wording. So you get a headline 10-year warranty, but you'd think, oh, so it's going to be exactly on year 10 as it was year 1. Well, it won't be, because it actually says doesn't cover normal wear and tear of what you would do on a mattress. Whatever that means, wear and tear for a normal mattress, but it doesn't cover normal sinkage, because that's going to happen. So you're going to have to reckon on average about 5-6 years, anything between 3 to 8 years, to replace your mattress. And that's where the real difference in these mattresses is going to come about, because it's like in the last few years they've really started to come online. Till a little bit further down the line, we can't really compare the durability, but all of these mattresses expect to replace every 5 years, so the cheap ones may have an advantage in that respect. So yeah, the difference between the US and the UK. So the UK version is very different from the US version. The US version has the latex top, which obviously is preferable to the polyfoam. Now, they say the reason for that is when they sprayed the latex with the fire retardant that is required by UK law, it changed the whole nature of that latex top, and they didn't like it, so they went with polyfoam and they embedded the chemicals rather than sprayed it. And so that is why. It's not cost-cutting measure, but it ended up being the better feel. But of course, polyfoam is cheaper than latex. I would have preferred a latex because it's more durable. It has other properties such as less heat retention, moisture retention. So that's one difference. The other big difference is the UK version has less of a base layer than the US version. So the US version has a bigger base layer and a smaller transition layer. So below these top comfort layers on this mattress, is something between a comfort layer and a support layer, and it's different from other online mattresses in that respect because they don't normally seem to have that layer. So that's interesting. But the UK one has a different configuration in those two bottom layers than the US version. Interestingly, that was something they changed in the US anyway. They never used to have that transition layer. People were complaining they were going right through the top two layers and hitting that hard base layer, and they didn't like it. So instead of making the top two layers thicker, because don't forget, that top one is latex, it's going to be more expensive, isn't it? So they've gone with the transition layer, which is interesting. Again, would appear to be a cost-cutting measure, but they're going to obviously say different. So there's a difference. And of course, in the US, the foam is all CertiPure certified. Obviously, all these foams, other than natural latex, that is made with petrochemicals. They're going to leach. The off-gassing that you smell is when there's a big off-gassing, big leaching of initially those chemicals, and you're going to get more over time even if you don't smell it. And so they're certified to have low emissions of those chemicals, volatile something they call it. The UK one isn't certified at all. You can get CertiPure in the UK, but obviously it's a lot more expensive, so they haven't got that route. So on paper, the US Casper is completely different and is a much better mattress. Of course, at the end of the day, it's only the feel that matters. You're going to have to be changing these after about 5 years anyway. You're going to be careful with the information on their website because they mix up the information between the US and the UK one. For instance, when they talk about how they researched their materials and they tried 100 different compounds, and it says the same thing on the two websites. But of course, it was different in the UK, so they can't say they researched them in both the same way. It's different materials in the UK, lower quality. They're not certified at all. Now, I have to say, I've not smelt anything off of this mattress, so off-gassing hasn't been a problem. Sleeping on it, I haven't had any heating problems. So all the things that people normally complain about, in the old days with memory foam, which really, these foams have come a long way, as they make them with an open cell technology now, which means there's more space around the cells, it's better for air. So they're much better in that respect. If you're particularly sensitive, people will still make complaints about that with all of these mattresses. The other thing is to remember that all these online mattresses, they're quite similar, and the feel is going to be different depending on your size and your weight, but the difference between them are quite subtle. In fact, this is quite similar to the Lisa mattress in many ways, in the firmness of it, but you still over time are going to feel a difference. So yeah, so how did I get on with the mattress? So right, I'll go into that in a bit more depth. So yeah, initially I was looking at the specs and reading more and more about it. It sounded cheaper and cheaper. I didn't expect much of it, especially when I got it, and it's thinner than, less height than the other mattresses I've been trying. But as you can see, right on the edge is going to collapse, but where you'd normally sit, it's not too bad. It looks quite bad. Actually, I didn't find it quite as bad sitting on it, but with all my weight like that, it's a bit of a collapse, isn't it? But look, long story short, I quite like it. I've been using the Lisa mattress for 3 months, which had been my go-to mattress. I have to say, when I first tried this mattress, look, there's no wow feeling. I don't lie here and think, oh, bliss. All these companies, you go on their chat, and by the way, you go on the chat for the UK site. It's actually in Germany, but they do have a showroom in Covent Garden. You can actually go and see it. But yeah, so all these companies, they will say it's like lying on a cloud. And I haven't been on a mattress yet that's like, because lying on a cloud is what? It's like floating in air. You're going to feel, I don't even know why to describe it like that. They're trying to make it sound blissful, and some of them are kind of like that when you first initially lay on them, and then they're not that comfortable. This is kind of the opposite. So I lay on it, there's no blissful feeling, it just feels like an adequate mattress. But I do get a lot of low back pain. I have to say, all the time I sleep on it, I never got any back pain. I'm not saying the mattresses give me back pain, but if I've been exercising and I've aggravated my back, and then I have a night's sleep with the Lisa, as much as I love it, it's quite hard on my back when I've got back pain. It doesn't give me back pain. If I don't have back pain, I really love the Lisa mattress. But with the pain, it doesn't quite have the same spot relief. It doesn't fit out my back. So the last time I got the other night, actually, I had the back pain. I swapped mattresses from the Lisa to this one. Had a great night's sleep because it does support my back really nicely. It fills out the gap in the back where it should do. So you sink in on the buttocks, you get the arch in the back. The foam should be supporting that arch, and it certainly it fills that arch better than the Lisa, probably better than most of the mattresses I've tried. Actually quite surprised. So I have to say, I'm really starting to appreciate this mattress. There's no blissful feeling, it just works. And most importantly, it does support my back. I've got to say, I'm 6 foot 13 stone. If you're hugely different in weight and size, it's going to be different. So that's important to bear in mind. But for me, this does feel nice. What I don't like is that as far as these singles go, you can only get in the UK sizes. So these are only just the right height for me for UK sizes. I prefer the EU sizes. If I want the 200cm ones, you've got to go for like the big king size. So maybe in time they'll do the EU sizes. But I have to say, now I'm a back and side sleeper. So on the back, it fills out the arch in my back nicely. And the important thing, when you lie on your side, you need a lot of give on the shoulder. Now it's not perfect, but it's softer on the shoulder than the Lisa mattress, which was really nice for that. As a back and side sleeper, it's good. Now, if you're sleeping on your front, it's going to be different. You're always going to want a firmer mattress. So there's a little bit of give. It does give me a little bit of an arch. But I think, nobody should be sleeping on their front at the end of the day. It's orthopedically, it's an awful position to be sleeping in. But if you do, I think it's adequate. It's not brilliant. But it is, I think, on the firmer side, quite similar to the Lisa, just maybe slightly, very similar. Now, the thing that, if you go online, and first of all, when you look at the reviews on the website, the thing to remember is they're mixing up all that information. So the reviews are mostly for the US mattress, so they're not a lot of help. But most people comment that although the top two layers are softish, it feels like you hit the adapter flare and get a harder feel, and they don't like that. Now, well, I kind of feel that, but I think it ends up being quite supportive. Remember, that adaptive layer is between a comfort layer and the harder base layer. For me, that works. Even if you're lighter, you're not going to hit that at all. But the Scent 18 stone plus, it's not a great mattress. But I mean, if you're 18 stone, you've got to be really careful about what mattress. You want a really firm mattress, of course. So I can see how that's an issue, because other mattresses, you're not going to hit that hard layer quite as early as you do with this mattress. But having said that, you hit an adaptive layer, and on the UK version, the adaptive layer is a little bit thicker than the US version, so that is going to be less of a problem on the UK mattress. So I have to say, long story short, cut to the chase, I do give it a thumbs up. I haven't had a bad night's sleep on it, I have to say. As I said, I can't say it's like sleeping on the cloud. It's not as blissful as sleeping on some mattresses, but then you wake up with shoulder pain, neck pain, back pain. So where's it got you at the end of the day? You do need a bit of support, and I get that support. I mean, I'm quite impressed actually how that's filling in the curve in the back. The spot relief is really good on this. So I'm going to take the cover off and let you have a good look at exactly what is it. By the way, this top cover is 99% polyester, 1% elastane. Elastane is basically spandex, so it's a really elastic material. highly elastic material. It's a polyester polyurethane copolymer. It just means it's bonding two molecules together. Anyway, it feels nice. It's quite stretchy. You can see, I mean, a lot of the covers are quite similar, but at least it's not 100% polyester like most of the others. You still, unfortunately, cannot wash this in a washing machine. You cannot put it in a dryer. Cold or lukewarm water and soap is how you clean that. But most people are going to put the mattress protector over the top of it anyway, which kind of makes these tops redundant. But anyway, I'm going to take the whole thing cover off and show you the layers below. So this is what it looks like without the cover on. As you can see, the cover is actually in 2 bits, which makes it easy to put on and off. Shame it's not washable, because that would have been brilliant. But yeah, something people are always going to say is how responsive is it? So here I am lying on it. That's me not lying on it. It's pretty much non-existent, isn't it? I mean, the response time, you're in, you're out. It's instant. It's also pretty bouncy compared to other mattresses I've tried. It's more bouncy than the Lisa, which I quite like. If you like traditional memory foam, you're not going to like that because you don't get any bounce at all. You just sink into it. You're not going to get that enveloping feel that you get with traditional memory foam, but you do sink in. And I've grown to like it. I have adapted to it. I've changed my opinion. At first, the first few nights thinking this is a cheap mattress. Feels a bit hard under me. I can understand people say, "Oh, you sink in," but then you hit something harder. But actually, very quickly get used to that. It's not a problem to me. It may actually be a benefit because I've not had a bad night's sleep. I can't say that about any mattress that I've tried. So there you can see all the layers, how they work. Nice and responsive. So what have we got? We've got 1.5 inches of polyfoam. By the way, make sure yours is the right way up. The base layer at the bottom, that on the top, because if you see my unboxing, they sent it the wrong way around. To be fair, I told them about it and they gave me £50 off, which of course I could have got anyway if I'd used a referral code, but I hadn't, so that was fair enough. They did offer to actually get it, to replace it immediately. So they were very good when I told them about it, but at the end of the day, you know, people are going to get, some people are going to get it and not even know. So if you watch my video, please check your Casper when it comes, if you get it. 1.5 inches of polyfoam. Polyfoam is a cheap way of mimicking latex, but it isn't latex no matter what they tell you. But it's very bouncy, it's very springy. I like it. Visco elastic memory foam, which is memory foam. Whatever fancy name they put to it, it's memory foam. When they tell you it's got, theirs is open cell technology, they're all open cell technology. Because they have evolved over time, these memory foams. So 1.5 inches polyfoam, 1.5 inches of memory foam. So you can see the difference. It should be slightly, so still quite responsive, isn't it? It's less, a little bit small. It's kind of, difference is subtle, to be honest. So that's where it differs from the others. It has a transition foam, so it's in between comfort layers. These other layers, the base layer is just meant for support. So it doesn't really matter, as long as you put it on a hard surface, don't put it on springs. So basically any other surface it's made to work in, it has a built-in base layer. You don't need to have a separate base. So that's 2 inches, 1.5, and that's 2 inches. So that's actually bigger than the US one. So the US adaptive transition foam is also 1.5, but this is 2 inches, and their base layer would be slightly bigger. So obviously, I can see how that they're trying to match the feel of the mattresses, which is why the configuration is different. But at the end of the day, it's a cheaper version of the US one, no matter what they tell you. I would like to tell you the stats on that. It's very easy to find out what the densities are for the US one, and I have to say, in my unboxing I mentioned the densities. That was a mistake. That was for the US ones, and I now realise nobody knows what the UK ones are. The reason for that is they won't tell you. I went on their online chat, a lovely lady called Anna, and I asked her, can you tell me the density of the top layer? To which she replied, I'm afraid that's internal information. You're not allowed to know what you're buying. So I said, what? With the question mark. I was a bit stunned. And she said, I'm sorry, usually we do not give out this information. Why do you want to know the density of the top layer? So it turned into an interrogation. Why I possibly want to know that. Of course, anyone advising anyone on buying a mattress, find out the densities. You want to know what the qualities. So you know, 75, 60ish, you're going to want for a decent density. These foams are going to be at a lower density, but have a firmer feel. But at the end of the day, the better quality ones, the more durable ones, are going to be a higher density. It just means you've got more foam for the same amount of area. But I can't tell you that because they won't tell me. I did leave my email address and I'm waiting on a reply. But I don't expect to get anything. It was the same with Simba. I don't know why they just think it's top secret. What do they think you're going to do with the information? It's extraordinary, really. Yeah, so I mean that's what it looks like, and how does it adapt to your body? You know, that's what it's doing in reality. I'm lying on it. Where's it giving? Is it giving where it should? It's hard to really see, but you know, I can feel it fills out the back, and I go in at the hips exactly as I should. You can see it's not really, you know, it's not compressing right down. I'm 13 stone. It's not compressing right down to that layer, is it? So I don't think that's a problem. You'd have to be a really big size, I think, for it to be a problem. As for transference, better than Lisa. I did little tests for that, and yeah, it's I have to say overall, it's been a big surprise. It's grown on me over time, and it is cheaper than the others. So I do recommend it, as long as you don't expect something that's going to put a big smile on your face. It's just going to work. It's going to be functional. So yeah, it's a recommendation from me anyway. As with all these mattresses, 100-night trial, nothing to lose. So good luck with that one. Actually, just in case you didn't see my unboxing, some of the information that that was on there that I haven't yet given. First of all, as I mentioned, it's much harder to get a discount. You're going to have to go through a referral code, although on certain days they do advertise them. It's just that they don't do that often. For instance, on Boxing Day, they did have a £75 off offer on the website. So I guess it's a matter of catching the offer when you can. They do matching sheets and pillows if you want to try. The pillow doesn't seem to get great reviews, but the general look matches the bland look that they give the covers on this. Just to recap, that they are a US company but with a presence in the UK, and they do have a Covent Garden showroom. Their main office seems to be in Germany. So I think that's about everything then, and hope you enjoyed my review. Thank you.